Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz. This is Ron's Bank Shop Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Thursday, March 9th, 2023. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my $15 Bank Shop best bet, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are the games for Thursday in college hoops. First up, we'll go to the SEC tournament as Mississippi State takes on Florida. This one's going to be a 1 o'clock Eastern start time on the SEC network in the second round. Now, Florida's played more competitive basketball as of late. They won their final 2 games of the regular season over Georgia and LSU. But this is just a really bad matchup on paper and overall just a bad draw for Florida in their first game in this tournament because Florida struggled for the most part this year on both the offensive and defensive glass. They ranked 323rd in offensive rebounding percentage, 264th in defensive rebounding. And now with Colin Castleton out for the season, he had that season-ending injury against Ole Miss a couple of weeks ago. Now your rebounding numbers are even worse overall. He's your best player for sure, definitely your best forward and rebounder. So now you're playing a Mississippi State team that's 18th in the country in offensive rebounding percentage. So they might not be the best shooting team, and they certainly haven't been this year, but they're going to get a lot of second chance opportunities in this game. They're going to force plenty of turnovers, and I think that's going to be enough for Mississippi State to take care of business in this game. Mississippi State, one of the best defenses, not only in the conference, but really in the country. So a Florida team that's missing Castleton, its leading scorer by far, a team I just can't trust in this spot at a neutral site. I think this is going to be a tough game for Florida overall. So give me Mississippi State. We're laying a pretty reasonable price here with the Bulldogs. Next up, we'll go to the Big Ten tournament as Penn State takes on Illinois. This one's going to be a second-round game, 6:30 Eastern on the Big Ten Network. Penn State's really reliant on making their shots at a very high rate. Not necessarily always the best shots in terms of the shot quality. And this team, when I say they rely on it, they don't get to the free throw line. They don't get those offensive rebounds. This team needs to make their three-point jumpers at a very good rate in order to have success on the offensive end. And really, their defense is not good enough, especially because they're ranked 360th in turnover percentage defensively. Their defense is not good enough for their offense to have any kind of off-night shooting. So when you have a risky team like that, Penn State's won some games recently. I mean, they've won 5 of the last 6 games, but they also went on a 4-game losing streak at one point in the conference, and 3 of those 4 games were true road games. So I just don't necessarily trust this team in neutral site games against good teams like Illinois, good defenses like Illinois, ranked 12th in the nation in 2-point field goal defense. I think Illinois is the better team, and I think they're a more trustworthy team in a neutral site tournament like this. I mean, if Penn State gets really hot shooting the basketball, who knows what they could do, but their defense is not good enough, and they're a little bit too unsustainable offensively for me to take a chance here with the Nittany Lions. So I'm going to take Illinois here. I'm going to take them and I'll lay the points. We stay in the Big Ten as Rutgers takes on Michigan. This one, 12 o'clock Eastern on the Big Ten Network. Now, you got 2 teams right here on the bubble going into the Big Ten tournament. And we've seen in recent years where, teams that are on the bubble, they earn some big wins in the conference tournament. You'd expect that to really help their chances and really help their resume. But we saw last year Texas A&M, I mean, they were on the bubble going into the SEC tournament. They won 3 games in that tournament over Florida, Auburn, and Arkansas. Didn't help their chances. They made it to the NIT instead. So I do wonder, we've seen a lot of the situations where the conference tournament wins don't really help you as much as you'd think. So I wonder, if Rutgers or Michigan wins this game, does it really help their chances? But I think Rutgers is going to win this game. I think Rutgers defensively is far better than Michigan overall. Rutgers 4th in the nation in adjusted defensive efficiency. But I think their offense is also really underrated going into this tournament. It's a team that struggled shooting the basketball down the stretch, that's for sure, in the regular season, but still a team that takes care of the ball and gets a lot of second chance looks on the other side. So I think Rutgers' offense steps it up a bit. I think their defense is as strong as ever. I just don't trust this Michigan defense, a defense that's ranked 51st in adjusted defensive efficiency, but I think that's pretty generous. A team that doesn't really force many turnovers. So I think Rutgers gets it done here. I like the Scarlet Knights. I'm going to take them on the money line. Next up, we go to the MEAC as Coppin State takes on Norfolk State. This one's going to be 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN+. Now, Coppin State's actually won some games recently, and 3 of their last 4 games they won. All 3 of those were on the road, true road games for them, and one of those games was against this Norfolk State team, 69-62, the final, as a big double-digit underdog. But, Coppin State, we've talked a lot about on the Bank Shop Breakdown this year, and, we know that they're going to be able to pull off some upsets like they did against Norfolk State, like they did against James Madison in the regular season. but when they lose, they usually lose big. And we've seen a lot of blowout losses where Coppin State's given up 90 plus, 100 plus to their opposing teams. And I think this could be one of those games against a Norfolk State team. Is pretty frustrated with their play down the stretch, but still a team you want to watch out for in this MEAC conference because they're experienced, they've been there, done that, and Joe Bryant's the best player in this conference by far. Norfolk State, or Coppin State, is one of the worst rebounding teams in the country, ranked 362nd in offensive rebounding, 360th in defensive. Now you got a Norfolk State team. It's already a good shooting team to begin with. They're 60th in effective field goal percentage, but they're also 36th in offensive rebounding percentage. So they're going to get a lot of second chance looks. So if they're not making their shots on the first trip, 15, 20 plus offensive rebounds later, you're still scoring plenty of points. And you're also a really good team, Norfolk State is, at getting to the free throw line. We've seen Coppin State get into foul trouble very early into games. So I like the matchup, and I like the price that we were getting with Coppin State against Norfolk a couple of weeks ago. But that price is gone now because of Coppin State's most recent win streak. So I think the value's on the Norfolk State Spartans in this game. I expect a blowout win for the Spartans here. I'm going to lay the big number here with Norfolk State. And the final game we're going to talk about for Thursday's card in college basketball, it'll be in the American Conference as SMU takes on UCF in the first round. This one, 2:30 Eastern on ESPNU. Now, SMU is disappointing last few games of their regular season. They lost 3 straight games, and 2 of those 3 were blowout losses by double digits. But I think because of those losses, I think we're actually getting a really good number here with SMU, a team that I think has been undervalued for most of the year. A pretty solid team shot quality-wise. The fundamentals have improved as the season's carried on. And UCF has been one of the more overvalued and overrated teams in this conference, really from the beginning of conference play. I mean, this team finished the season with an 8-10 losing record in the AAC. They went on 2 losing streaks of 5 games and 3 games at one point, and a team that's decent defensively. They're 40th in adjusted defensive efficiency, but they're also not the best fundamental team. They can force turnovers, but they turn the ball over themselves quite a bit. 279th in the nation in turnover percentage offensively. They're also pretty good offensive rebounding team, but one of the worst defensive rebounding teams in the conference. They take a lot of fouls. They put teams on the free throw line, and I worry about them, and especially covering a big number like this. I think UCF could certainly win this game and still win it pretty comfortably, but laying a big number against an SMU team that I think has improved since the season began, I just wouldn't want to be there with UCF. So I'm going to take the points here with SMU. I think they have a fighting chance in this game. Maybe they pull off the big-time upset, but at least cover the number. And that's it. Those are the games for Thursday in college basketball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. But don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comment section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.